Today's video is sponsored by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping using code WARDYNYM at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com using code WARDYNYM. What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a great start to your day. I know I am, because we're in for some fairly breaking news over the past couple hours at the time of recording this. See here from Anthony DeComo for the New York Mets to state that yes, it looks like Joey Lucchesi has cracked this rotation heading into the 2021 season, given the injuries to both Carrasco and Thor, as we know, and with guys like Peterson and Yamamoto, who were his heaviest competitors, now cut from big league camp as we are inching closer and closer to the start of the MLB season. So this is monster news now that we have a significant idea of what this rotation is going to be looking like heading into the season. So it's about time we break this rotation down. Spots 1 through 5, everything there's to know about them, my current stance on them, how they fare against the rest of the NL East and the entire MLB, and so much more. So make sure you stay all the way until the end of the video, guys. Find all the detail on my thoughts on this rotation, what we can expect from it, and if we should be happy, sad, or in between about how it's going to be shaking up, at least for the foreseeable future until guys get back from injury. And if you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and want to see more great Mets content like this, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with the friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. Thank you all so much for the countless support, guys. We're trying to get a 6K subs by opening day, so Mets fans, do your thing, smash those buttons. But without further ado, let's get right into this video. So I don't know about you guys, Mets fans, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty excited for this 2021 MLB season and the rotation. And you might be wondering, Tyler, why do you feel that way when the Mets' current rotation isn't nearly as strong as what it could be once this thing is fully healthy, with Carrasco back in, say, a month or so from his hamstring injury? But again, that's a kind of a day-by-day situation. See how he's feeling. And then eventually Thor at some time in June once he's back from the 60-day. I understand that. Those are good arguments. But again, I'm so happy with what the Mets did this offseason. They were so strategic, so smart, so sophisticated, really, under this new regime led by Steve Cohen and Sandy Alderson, and now Zach Scott as well. How they added depth to the starting pitching rotation, which is something that, if you guys don't know, the Mets have lacked big time the past couple years, was one of the biggest factors, if not the biggest factor, to the Mets' downfall in the 2020 season. Not even making playoffs in an expanded format where basically every team made playoffs. So I'm very happy to see them adding depth, making smart moves, and for everyone that was thinking, oh, these are Wilpon moves, these don't make any sense. I'm here to tell you this is exactly why. You need starting pitching depth, especially to have playoff success, to have deep run success, to not just have playoff, but even World Series aspirations. You do not get there without depth in the most crucial positions in the game of baseball, and it's led by starting pitching, no doubt. So now that we have an idea of what this rotation is going to be looking like, we got to break down who's going to be 1 through 5, right? Well, number 1 is obviously going to be, yes, Jacob deGrom, the GOAT himself, the face of baseball when it comes to pitching, has been and will continue to be the best pitcher in the MLB. This guy does not age whatsoever. He's a fine wine. He's truly looking like Benjamin Button out there with just how fantastic he is. In spring training this year, he's already topped out at 102 miles per hour. Yes, 102 miles per hour. Like, that is ridiculous for the guy who just a couple years ago couldn't even hit past 100, barely 100 for that matter. Past year has boded him crazy well with his velocity in that fastball, but his command is just otherworldly. Since the first pitch that he threw in spring training for 2021, he has looked like he's in mid-season form, and nothing is stopping this guy from competing and giving his all to be a 3-time Cy Young Award winner following this season. If you look at his numbers in spring, I know it's only spring training, but still, at the time of recording this, a 0.66 ERA, a career ERA that's been fantastic as well, of 2.61. He's been dominant every year, nothing stopping him. Seems like as he gets into his 30s, he just continues to get better with his velo, which is something so uncommon. So again, a determined Jacob deGrom with now run support behind him. I expect a monster year from him with all the ability in the role to be the NL Cy Young Award winner once the season is done. But then we get on now to the number 2 spot. Who's it going to be with injuries to Carrasco and Thor, right? It looks like it's going to be Marcus Stroman. Stroh is a fairly controversial guy in this rotation, mainly because of how he's fared with the Mets in the past. In 2020, opted out of the season, and many believe that maybe it wasn't just because of the pandemic. Again, take that as you will. Everyone has their opinions. But regardless, now that Stroh extended with the Mets, signed a additional 1-year deal once we saw Steve Cohen and Sandy Alderson in as part of this new regime, he was probably like, yeah, I don't want to go anywhere. It seems like the Mets are actually in a great direction now versus what they would have been with the Wilpons. And I think we can all agree there's a polar difference difference. If you don't think that there is, trust me, I have a bridge to sell you, because that's the farthest thing from the truth. There is a big difference. But Stroman, either way, has looked strong here in spring. His pitch just over a 3-year array has been great with getting some nasty strikeouts with a little split change that he's made and that he's working on, continuing to work on in spring. It's really looked nasty at times here, I must say. But then you look at the ground outs he's constantly getting. He's a ground out pitcher. Now having Francisco Lindor in that infield is going to help him tremendously this season to try to put up some strong numbers. So regardless where Stroman will be once Carrasco and Thor back, because as of now he's a number 2, but once they're both fully healthy, he could be pushed all the way to being the 4th starter, which is a great problem to have. So Stro, I really think is going to have a dominant year. A 3.5 year rate or lower would be tremendous for this club heading into the season. But then you get on to the 3rd starter, a guy that the Mets picked up over the past couple months of free agency after losing out on guys like Trevor Bauer. They get Taijuan Walker. I'm really excited for Walker. I think he's going to bring a lot of great things to this Mets club, coming off of a 2-year span of basically non-existent baseball time because of his Tommy John surgery, and now splitting time with both the Mariners and the Blue Jays in 2020 short campaign. Had a 2.7 ERA and was absolutely dominant in his short stint with the Jays. Again, I don't take it with a grain of salt to an extent, but this guy has yet to even hit the peak of his prime. He's yet to hit that full prime of his career. I really think we're going to see Walker with a lot of innings, and I think we're going to see the best out of him yet. He's finally getting command of his fastball and some of his pitches. He looks strong here in spring. He has a 3-year rate currently at the time of recording this. He has a sub 4-year rate in his career, and a healthy Taijuan Walker still in his 20s. I think we're going to see a lot from him that's going to surprise some people, because remember, Taijuan Walker, plenty of teams in their rotation in the MLB would be a 2 or a 3 starter, even a 1 on plenty, but for the Mets, he will be pushed all the way to arguably a 5th starter once you have guys like Carrasco and Thor back. Say Walker not be performing as well as the other 2. That's insane. To have Walker to be your 5th starter, you know that rotation is deep when they're healthy, so I'm looking forward to that. But then you get on to the 4th starter, and it looks like that's going to be David Peterson, and what is showing the young man had in his rookie campaign in 2020 in a short stint, pitched to a 3.44 ERA, and thus far in spring at the time recording this is a 4.5 year rate. The lefty, a southpaw, you definitely need in the rotation, only 25 years of age, came all the way just from AA to the bigs in 2020. It was dominant at times. Again, I know that he might have some up and downs this season now that teams have a better playbook and a better look on him, now that they are more prepared than what they were when he had his emergence in 2020. I still think Peterson's going to be just fine, a guy that hopefully will eat some more innings as he continues to grow as a pitcher. Probably won't be pitching too deep into games, probably around 5 or 6 on average, I'd say for now, but still a lot to be excited about. And then when you get onto the 5th spot, it's going to be, yes, Joey Lucchesi. Everyone's excited about this guy, including myself. When you look at his windup, he's perfect for the bullpen. I stated this in my bullpen predictions video as well, that should the rotation be healthy, I really think Lucchesi would be better in the bullpen. It's something that we could see this year, given his nasty windup, his nasty release, and his nasty curveball. That changeup and curveball combined is truly something deadly for the opposing team and their hitters. So that deceptive type of release, the deceptive windup, I really think Lucchesi is going to be great. But for now, he will be the 5th starter, so we're going to see how he does. He's had a strong spring. He's been pitching just over a 3, around a 3.2 ERA. The time of recording this was really looking stellar until his last outing, where he gave up a couple runs, but they weren't all his fault either. But regardless, a 4.2 career ERA for Lucchesi. Didn't pitch a lick really in 2020. Only 3 games played. He was on the outside looking in, was on the alternate site for the Padres, and was dealing with some injuries. So it is what it is. But Lucchesi is a guy with low risk, high reward upside. Is exactly why you make kind of 3-team trades that the Mets did for him in the offseason, gain him from the Padres as part of that bigger deal with Musgrove going from the Pirates to the Padres. So good stuff there for the Mets. I like that depth for Lucchesi. And again, you have to also realize with this rotation now, he has a chip on his shoulder. He has that confidence, but it's not going to last too long probably, because realize that if Carlos Carrasco is, say, only out a month or so, right? That means that you're going to compete as much as you humanly possibly can. Until that point, I know that it makes sense to either have Peterson or Lucchesi be in that 5th spot, because then once Carrasco's back fully healthy, one of them has to go. One of them is either going to be used as an opener, some type of reliever, or sent to AAA. One of those scenarios is going to happen, so Lucchesi is going to be giving all he has from the get-go, make sure that he stays in this rotation, really does his best impression to solidify himself over a guy, the youngster in David Peterson. So we'll see what happens there, but the Mets have made it clear they're still going to be creative. There is no certainty that's going to just be Lucchesi at the 5th spot until Carrasco's back. We may very well see openers, a guy like Aaron Loup, a free agent reliever that they signed, who went all the way to the World Series with the Rays this past season. He really deceptive with that lefty sidearm. We could see him in an opener for first inning or 2. We could see Yamamoto still with the club coming out of the bullpen after, say, Lucchesi pitches 4, or maybe he becomes an opener, something along those lines. The Mets are going to be very creative this year, which I think is going to bode them well, especially with this somewhat uncertainty with the rotation long term. And I know you might be wondering, Tyler, why don't they just go out and really go for another big rotation piece? Well, they're not going to do that unless they truly feel it's needed, because they did not make all these depth moves for nothing, right? They did these depth moves so that way you don't have guys of the Corey Oswalds of the world, and no offense to Corey Oswald, but he's really just a AAA starter at this point in his career. He's not a guy you necessarily want in the rotation, even with him having a decent spring at times, not great as well, been up and down still. But my point is that when you have guys like the Yamamotos, the Petersons, even to an extent the Montgomerys, and then the Jared Eichhoffs, there's so much organizational depth there, which is something that the Mets haven't had in quite some time. And it's going to lead to their success. And once this rotation is healthy, forget it. Then you're going to have so many. You're going to have Cooking there. You're going to have Thor. And Thor back from Tommy John could really be deadly. So watch out, NL East. I get it. As of now, it's not the best rotation in baseball by any means. It's not even the best in the NL East, arguably, right now. I think we could probably all agree the Braves have an upper hand given these injuries. But once they are healthy, watch out. But to summarize, we have DeGrom at 1. Then you have Stroman at 2. Then you also have Walker at 3. Then you have Peterson at 4 and Lucchesi 5. That's still a solid rotation with its uncertainty at all, and the depth is going to prove to lead this team to success. So hopefully the offense helps out with any type of so-so games we get them from the 4 or 5 spots especially. But when you have Taijuan Walker and Stroman as your 2 and 3, pushing all the way to being a 4th and a 5th starter arguably, once Carrasco and Thor in this, boy oh boy is this thing going to be something. So stay tuned, guys. I know it's not the most stellar rotation, but it will definitely get the job done. And for whatever reason, if it doesn't and it really leads to a lack of success within the first month or two for the Mets, don't be surprised to see them do a move, but only when the time's right. They're not going to jump the gun and do something like that they don't feel is truly worthy. They have trust in this team. They have trust in this organization, how they're going to develop their pitching talent. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to see Peterson, Yamamoto, Lucchesi, all these guys in the rotation at some point or in the bullpen. However they utilize it, I know that's going to lead to success. Be more analytically driven, if you will, like the Rays. And I know not that Francisco Lindor will love that, but from a starting pitching standpoint, I like it as long as you don't go too far. So as always, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, how do you feel about how this current rotation stacks up? How do you feel how it stacks up versus the rest of the NL East? Do you think it'll get the job done until everyone's fully healthy, or do you think something else needs to happen? And would you like to see just Lucchesi in the 5th spot, or are you more in favor of having an opener, having Yamamoto in there for a couple innings too, mixing things up almost on a game-by-game basis for that 5th spot? Whatever you think, please let me know in the comments below. If you ended up enjoying this kind of Mets content and want to see more great Mets content like this, you know what to do by now. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with your friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. Stay tuned, guys. More great live streams for the Mets, not just for spring training, but regular season, because I'll be streaming for opening day in that entire series against the Nationals. That's going to be nuts, so stay tuned for that. But also great predictions videos on not just the regular season, but awards you're going to see for the World Series. All that's going to be in a big video coming out hopefully on the weekend at the time of recording this. So stay tuned, guys. Hope you're excited. Great things coming here at Wardy NYM. I would love for you to be part of the community if you are an Ray. So smash those buttons. Thank you again, and let's go Mets, baby.